I'm so excited for this because it's finally Halloween craft time, and Halloween is my absolute favorite time of year. I've got a couple of things planned, including this craft, which is going to be a dried floral arrangement in our tin can pumpkin. It's also a candle holder, so it'll delve as two. And the method I'm going to show you to arrange, you can use for any type of vessel with any type of floral. So just follow along. The method for this is the same as it would be for any container that you're doing with dried floral or fresh floral. But if you've bought the craft kit from us, you'll have one of everything that I'm going to use today already in your kit. So you can just follow along and put it together. So in order to do this craft, a lot of times when I use a vessel to do floral arrangements, I'll put a piece of oasis in the bottom. You can still do that with this one. However, because I want to be able to put the tea light inside, I'm going to use a crisscross method that normally I would use with my floral tape, but today we're going to use with just regular Scotch tape. The reason that we're going to do this is we're going to create a grid on the top so that all the stems fit in nice and not tight. They kind of are a little bit loose, which is nice when you're doing a floral arrangement. You don't want anything that's going to be too tight. So we're just going to create our grid on top. So what I will do is, you can use any kind of Scotch tape. I'm using two-sided tape because it's a little bit more narrow than the regular Scotch tape. So what I'm going to do is create a grid on top of my floral arrangement container. So I take one piece and I'll just start it in the middle. I don't know if you can see that. It's a little bit difficult because of the way that I'm filming. And then I'm just going to keep going. So what you want to do is you want to be able to create a ton of little squares across the top of your vessel. So that's the start. Can you see it there? I've already got one completed, so I'm just going to move on to that. This is what it looks like when it's completed. Can you see the little pieces of tape there? So you've got all kinds of little holes that you're going to be able to put your floral stems in through. The way that I like to do this, of course now I will be doing the arrangement front forward to you, so it's a little bit more difficult. When you're doing this, obviously your face of your pumpkin will be towards you so that you can get an idea of height and shape, space, color, that sort of thing. So when you're doing it away from you, it's like zipping up someone else's jacket. It's a little bit awkward. So what I like to do when I'm doing any type of floral arrangement, I like to start with my larger pieces first. So with this particular arrangement, you're going to have a peony stem, an orange peony stem, and the stem that comes with it. It's just like a little bud. It was attached and I've separated them. So I've also separated them for you in your craft kits. What you're going to want if yours are not separated and you have you've purchased like blooms from somewhere else, you're going to want a good pair of floral snips. This is my absolute favorite pair. It's a little bit more industrial, but I do also use a smaller set if I've got like little small blooms that I need just clipped off, or leaves or something of that nature. So what I'm going to do, starting off, I'm going to take my larger pieces. So I'm going to use my peony and I'm just going to push it down inside the grid. So it doesn't have to be perfect. This will start to take shape once you get a little bit more blooms within your bucket. I've also got an orchid stem. I like this because the color, we've got a nice bright orange, and we've got a purple. I'm also going to be using some black and white cool things, and then we're going to fill it in with grasses so that it's really texture, lots of texture in there, which is nice when you're doing an arrangement. So like I said, it's not going to be perfect in the beginning. Just get them in there. I've also got some cool like little picks like this. Halloween picks are amazing because you can do so many things with them. I've also got, like I said, I've got some grasses too. These grasses are kind of neat because they've got like little sprinkles on the edge there. I've got my Halloween music going too, just to be in the spirit. So if you can hear that in the background, that's what that is. So I'm just going to put my pick inside because what I'm trying to do is create some height on one particular side of the floral arrangement. Just gonna turn this around for a second to make sure that I've got the right proportion going on there. And I'm happy with that. Okay, so this one's really simple. There's not a whole lot of product to go in here. The grasses, there's a lot of, I think I've got I have 4 separate grass stems that'll go in. And I've got these cool little, like, colorful orange leaves. I've got 3 stems of those. In fact, they came from Michael's, and they are actually on a stem all together, but I've split them. I never ever use blooms that are all together. I always split them down because then it looks a little bit more custom. That's how you get a better custom arrangement from artificial floral. So yes, like I've said, I've split these into 3 pieces. So you want to create some height as you're going on one side. There's a bow with this arrangement as well. So I'm going to let you leave room on one side. You choose whether it's going to be your right side or your left side, but there will be a bow. I'll show you how to make that. That's going to go on the front there. So I've got, this is my absolute favorite. These, I use this all year round. It's like a eucalyptus, but it changes color as it gets to the top, so it looks a little bit more natural than just an artificial bloom. So the idea is to put your blooms, your stems, whatever you want to call them. The idea is to fill up all of the little squares. That's how you're going to hide the squares as well. So that's important that you do that. And I'm using 4 pieces of eucalyptus. And I'm just going to fill all the way around. There's always, when you buy a stem, let me just show you. These are from Michael's as well. Actually, they come with a ton of blooms on each pick. So I've split them down and I've divided them up, and I'm giving you in your craft kit 4 separate ones. I'm going to leave the grasses till last so that I'll have a look around the whole thing and then see if there's any holes that I might need to fill in. And I'm going to leave my largest embellishment, which is this like cool little like foam horn thing. I'm going to leave that till last, so I'll figure out the position that I'm going to put that in as well. So make sure you're filling in all the spaces so that you can't see your tape grid any longer. And the best part about these is that it doesn't have to be perfect. Nothing ever is perfect. Flowers in nature are not perfect, so. How's that looking from the front? I wonder. My arrangements tend to have like a kind of an overall sort of messy look to them. It's just the way my personality is. I've tried very hard, I should say, to kind of change that a little bit, but that's just not my style. So I'm going to turn this around and see what it looks like. I might lift my orchids up a little bit so it's got more height there. The same goes with my candy corn pick. Okay, so that looks great actually. Okay, so now I'm going to teach you how to do a bow. Can everyone see that? I'm filming alone today, so it's not as easy as when I have my film guy here. So as you can see, I think it's this side. It is. I've left a gap here in this space in the front. You can kind of see where the tape still is sticking out. See, that's taking shape. That's cute. I've left that gap because that's where I'm going to put my floral bow. So it'll fit like that on the side. So I'm going to teach you how to make this. The difference between doing just a regular bow that you would for a package versus a bow that I would do for a wreath is a little bit different than the bows that I do for floral arrangements. I find like a traditional big looped bow on the side kind of doesn't fit as well as just my 3-loop bow does. And it's a little bit more modern, little bit less traditional. Of course, I'm obsessed with the black and white stripe ribbon. I've done a few crafts this summer with the black and white stripe ribbon, and we're just like falling right into Halloween with the black and white. Okay, so that's going to be your 3-loop ribbon with 2 ends. So the way that I make that is take my ribbon. So I'm just using a regular roll of ribbon. I'm pretty sure there's 3 There's 12 feet, so around each roll of this one that I have here. So I'm gonna guesstimate that this is about 3 feet that I've already cut off. Maybe a little, maybe more, sorry. It might be more like 3.5 feet. So you wanna make sure that you got enough to do your 3 returns, 3 bows, plus your ends. And you want enough ends because we're gonna clip them nice and it's gonna be really cute. Okay, I'm just gonna move this out of the way while I show you how to do this part. I also like to use a ribbon with a wire in it because it keeps its shape a little bit better than just the regular floppy ribbon. But you could use that too. What you do is just make your loops a little smaller so that they hold their shape just because of their size and not because they're reinforced with wire inside. So what I'm gonna get you to do, super simple. You're gonna make 1 loop. And this is our return. So you know that we've got this end going on here. Okay, can you see that, everybody? So I've got about 4 inches for the ribbon end, and I've got about probably 8 inches for the loop itself. That part is not, you know, just do whatever you feel looks right. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna loop the other side where there's excess ribbon and make another loop, the exact same size. And you're gonna do it one more time. Just fold it so the ends meet the same length. There we go. And now you've got your 3 bubbles. Make sense? And you've got 2 returns. So if you don't like that your returns are 2 different lengths, you can do it again and make sure that they are the same. I like them 2 different lengths because it just adds a little bit of extra interest and asymmetry to your arrangement. So what I'm gonna do when I have my 3 loops completed, I'm gonna now hold them in my hand and kind of pinch them together because this is how you're gonna attach the floral wire because you need something that's gonna attach them and keep them together, right? So what I'm using for this is just a regular floral wire, and you'll use your snips. If you have a pair of scissors that you're using separate of your kitchen scissors, because if you cut wire with scissors, your scissors are gonna dull quickly. So I just use my snips to do it. I use my little ones. And what you're gonna do is you're just gonna take your floral wire and kind of wrap it around the top part, sorry, not the top part, but the highest part of your ribbon loops. So I'll just show you what I mean when I get that twisted on. So what you're gonna wanna have is you're gonna wanna have like a stem. So the higher up you fasten your wire, you'll have a stem underneath. And that's how you're gonna attach it to your arrangement. Because you wanna have enough that you're gonna be able to push into your tape grid, right? And then you can fluff your ribbons after you get going. Okay, so we'll just bring this back. So of course, the space that we're working with there, you wanna find a spot that you're able to get your ribbon in there. Now mine might be a little bit too small. And you're just gonna push it down in. Okay, and then you've got your small ribbon and your larger ribbon return. And then you can you guys still see that? Yep. And then you're just gonna loop. Use your fingers to create loops with your wire ribbon. Let's see if that looks like it makes sense. I like when the longest ribbon return hangs down a little bit. I'll show you what I mean now in just 1 second when I flip it around to you. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about there. How the longest ribbon return kind of hangs down in the front there. So now it's time to finish off your little ribbon. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna make the snake's tongue. That's what I call it, the snake's tongue. Put your 2 pieces of ribbon, like fold it on each other in half. And then what you're gonna do is cut on an angle from the open part to the fold. And then you get what I call the snake's tongue. Everyone see that? So that's the first one, and then you're also going to do the littlest piece. And again, you're going to cut on an angle from the open part to the fold. There we go. See if that looks like it makes sense to you guys. There you are, like that. And for the last piece, my favorite part of this whole arrangement, I'm gonna put my cool little pick in there like that. So now you've got some whimsy happening there. And here you go. That's how easy it is. You can twist it around and it looks good from every angle, but obviously the front is the focal point where your jack-o'-lantern face is. And then at night you can just stick a tea light, a battery operated tea light inside, and the whole thing in the front will glow. There you are. Thanks for following, everyone. Let me know if you have any questions.